when I met people who were also suffering, they knew the complete and utter torture that having anorexia and having depression is. They knew what it was like to feel like you were just dying inside.
It's high unemployment, particularly coming out of university or college. It's finance or lack of it.
Maybe overwhelmed with the world right now. I mean, if we look at the economic environment, it's tough. Will they get a job? What's their future?
It's actually knowing where to turn for advice. It's a very complex world they're growing up in, and they need to find the right advice in the right place at the right time.
If you look at the 16-year-olds that are growing up now, they look at the internet as one of their key sources of information, where they turn to most.
I think the internet is so good because it gives everybody the universal access that they can get to any service they want to at any given time, at a time that suits them.
It's instant. You get an instant reaction, instant answers to instant questions.
They can find it on a personal level or an impersonal level. It really depends on their need, and I think that's what the internet does that's so different.
I think the biggest problem really with the internet is there's almost too much information, so having a single trusted site that people can go to, I think, is incredibly important.
Websites like the site.org are fantastic because it's a great opportunity to hear from other people. I think for all of us it's wanting to know what other people think or what they've experienced so you can relate it back to yourself. Know you're not alone, I guess.
Our department thinks it's so important, and that's why we're funding the site.org. We think it's really important that young people can feel empowered to ask what they want when they want, but the fact that it can be anonymous is so empowering for young people.
No one has to know about what you're doing there, and you can be talking to people very privately, giving another identity if you want. If you want to be in a forum, and you can find out what other people's opinions are, who you don't actually have an affiliation with.
They can express themselves fully. They can ask the questions that maybe they aren't confident about talking to somebody else about. They're actually having to face up to some of their issues, but they can do it in an anonymous way.
They're much more interested in finding out the answer on their own, and so having a site that's dedicated to providing independent, helpful and concise but not preachy advice, I think, is incredibly important for the generation that's growing up.
They don't feel they're being judged. They don't feel that they're being pushed in one direction or another, but they're able to make up their own minds at a level that they're capable of understanding at that particular moment. That's what's so important about the site.
And I think what's really good about what YouthNet do is that it's aimed at an audience that the government doesn't tackle very well or doesn't target.
There's a lot of concerns you might have within your life, and the site is a fantastic way for people to answer some of those concerns and give them support. It's so you don't feel alone. I mean, that's really important. If you can't get that from your family and friends at that time, then at least there's another opportunity to use technology to do that.
Nominate Trust exists to provide financial support through grants to organisations like YouthNet.
Anything to do with the web and young people and their needs, using the web to meet their needs, is absolutely in line with our objectives.
We regularly donate considerable sums of money to YouthNet and its activities and its various projects.
The stuff that YouthNet and Site.org do on Yahoo Answers is one of the most amazing partners we have on the site.
It's modern, it's available, it's accessible.
We've got many ambitions for the redevelopment of the site.org, which will totally revolutionise the way that young people get support online. Because if you're between 16 and 25, at some point you are going to be taking decisions that will completely shape your whole future life. And we want those decisions to be available quickly and easily. And that is what the site.org, rebuilt from the ground up, is going to deliver. And I promise you there are going to be tens of thousands more young people coming to the site.org because of this development, which will be funded by this fantastic life support appeal.